What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Clutch. So tonight we're hanging out with one of probably my biggest supporters over the last easily 2 years. Glad to have finally really sat down. Up, kids starting already. Here we go. I'm gonna bring on Matt and quit trying to do this introduction because obviously the kid's gonna get into it.
What's up, man?
Matt, man, how you doing, brother?
Chilling, dude. Relaxing. Back from Florida finally.
Hell yeah. How was the trip?
Eventful, that's for sure. It was eventful. Didn't make it to Daytona, sadly, but next year.
Just a second. So tell us a little bit about the adventures that went on with that, because I think everyone's following it. You were like helping out MJ. Speaking of MJ, before we do that, y'all probably saw him on MJ's podcast like a week ago. Now? 2 weeks ago?
About a week and a half,
like that. Yeah, so I totally scheduled this guy first, and he's going to explain that story too, so that you guys don't think, hey, he's just copying MJ. He's trying to get people on. Like, fuck this dude. He's got no originality. Still love you, MJ, but I scheduled first, bro.
No, the funniest thing was you hit me up as I was leaving work, I think. Oh, did we lose him? Oh, we lost him. He's gone. And it's just me now. How awkward. Anyways,
no, I'm still here.
Oh, you're still here? Okay.
I'm going to handle the kids while you do your thing, so I'm not focusing on you, bro.
Cool, yeah. Basically, what was I saying now? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Oh, you hit me up on the way leaving from work, and I told you, yeah. So I got home, we finalized like the dates and everything. And then like an hour and a half later, MJ hits me up and he's like, oh, hey, you want to come on Trap Talk Saturday? I was like, yeah, sure. So like in a matter of, I don't know, 2 hours, I got like 2 different shows going. So it was pretty cool, though. I appreciate you both having me on. Super cool.
For sure, man. Like I was super stoked about it. I've been wanting to talk to you for a little while now. Like I was saying, you've been one of the biggest supporters over, I think, easily the last 2 years. I know anything that gets posted, I'm gonna see your name on it. Like it's not even a second thought. You're all over the place, dude, which I appreciate. Like I wish I had the attention span that you do. I don't.
Yeah, I have. When I have free time at work, I'm usually just on Instagram all day. Just.
What's that? What's free time? I've never heard of that before.
Right? Yeah, I get it occasionally, not a ton, but depends how payroll goes at work.
Right. And so you kind of talked about it over there with MJ, but what exactly do you do for work?
So my job it's a family business. So my grandfather, after he got out of the Navy, started a construction company, and then he ran it up until like 2005, I think. And then my dad took over, and then he's been running it since then. And then I've worked for them since, God, I was like 25, I think. Nice. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it definitely helps, like time-wise, to where I can take time off and go do these like shows and trips and all that. But I gotta make sure. So it's kind of like
your because you're in the office portion of it, it's kind of like your own little manager in a sense.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's me and my parents, and that's it.
So do you think that's kind of played into what you're trying to do for yourself now?
Oh, for sure.
Because you've had that experience.
Yeah. So seeing both my grandpa and my dad run their own business, and then my mom was born in Cuba and then came over here like a week before Castro took over. So they came here with like a suitcase and a clothes on their backs, and that was it. Bro. So seeing both my parents grind their asses off has for sure made me want to like try to replicate that, like 100%.
What were those stories like, man? Like I can only fucking imagine. Like, dude, talking about how they like. Did they come in on a boat, or were they holding that? They were holding the door frame? Like, did it change over time? Like, did they start on a boat and then be like, "You have no idea, mijo. Like, we had to go across the ocean on this door, and it was like the Titanic, but it wasn't cold."
There's a running joke, actually. An old family friend from when I played hockey used to joke with my mom that her and her family came over like hanging onto the landing gear into Miami. So that's like their running joke.
Hell yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right,
it's
y'all
that's definitely
that
been a
are
big
on
influence for me.
Facebook, for some reason, I'm still having issues with my internet, so I don't want to interrupt Matt. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean
Oh,
to
you're
do
fine.
that, but I feel bad about it. We're gonna try to run this smooth. If it doesn't run smooth again, like we did last week, I'm gonna jump strictly to YouTube. I'm trying to create this to where it's multiple platforms, but for some reason my internet just does not want to stick with it. But anyways, running joke. Sorry, we're still running.
Yeah. The running joke between my mom and our family friend was that her and her parents like hung on to the landing gear flying over into Miami. I'm like, oh, jeez.
So what was it? You've always been in California, or
yeah. I was born and raised in California.
So what was
I
it
actually,
like being raised in Cali, man? Because like you get
it's
different versions based off of what part of Cali it is.
it's a big love hate. I mean, I've been in SoCal my whole life, so the idea of having everything you need here. I mean, you've got the mountains, the desert, the beach, the woods. You've got everything out here. And where I grew up, everything was pretty much an hour away for the most part. So you were pretty centralized by everything. So that's nice. I mean, it's a love hate. It's super expensive out here. So like me trying to buy when I was in the process of buying a house, it was like a freaking nightmare. I hated it because you look at some places like, why is this cost this much here? And then I can go to Arizona and get like an acre and a twice as big house for the same price. This makes no sense.
Why does 1,000 square foot house, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, cost me $300,000 in Cali, but I can have a mansion anywhere else?
It's a love hate. There's a lot of good things about California. There's a lot of dumb things about California for sure.
Dude, I've steadily seen it go through its ups and downs over the years. Like I think that's every kid's dream. Like regardless of where you grow up, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Cali and make it, dude. Like I'm gonna fucking make it in Cali." Like that's everyone's dream, right? Like
the
I'm gonna
irony
be a
is
professional athlete or singer, actor, skater, whatever the hell you want to be, right? But you got to go to Cali to do it.
The irony is my sister lives in North Carolina now. She's getting her master's in Greensboro, and she got married there. So when we went to the wedding, I got to see North Carolina. I was like, oh, I actually really like it here. It's super nice. And now they're doing all those damn laws. So I'm like, oh, I'm not living there. Like, hell no. Like, if they're gonna try to ban all exotic pets, there's absolutely no point in me moving there.
Yeah, dude. It's rough, man. And that's why we do what we do, right? Like that's why we support USARK, and hopefully we give enough support and we find a legitimate fight. Maybe I can talk today, guys. I'm sorry. Have a legitimate fight when we go in. You know, it's one of the hard things. Like Texas has seen multiple pieces of legislation go through and been fought since I've been active in the community. And you gotta hope. Like all we can do is hope that our arguments don't fall on deaf ears, because I've definitely seen a couple of instances, especially as of late, where they already had their mind kind of made up before they had that
Florida,
town hall or whatever, you know. I wasn't gonna name names. Good name down.
That one was a bummer to see for sure. And I'm like, well, if they pass that in Florida, what's to say they're not going to pass something like that in California?
Right. And I mean, they're pushing for everything, man. I honestly think you're going to see an overall attack of not just reptiles, but pets in general over the next couple of years.
I mean, they don't want you to have any kind of pets, not even cats and dogs.
Exactly. Like you can't keep mental happiness here. Like that would be a shame.
It's like, do you know what condition I would be in if I didn't have my dogs? Oh my God.
Right. Let's actually jump into that. So Matt here actually has some of the, I'm gonna say it, I'm a grown-ass man, but I'm gonna say it, he's got some of the cutest pictures with dogs I've seen.
I'm a big dog guy for sure.
Let's see if it'll, here we go.
Like
this one, bro.
He's a menace, dude. He's a cute, funny dog, and he can be such a little jerk sometimes.
That's only partial pug, right?
Yeah, he's a half pug and then a quarter
Chihuahua.
Terrier and Chihuahua.
Yeah, I can see the Chihuahua.
That's where the bark is, man. The bark comes out. Oh my God.
Oh shit. So where's that one? I gotta find it real quick.
Yeah, I've got two different extremes when it comes to dogs. I got a 20-pound dog and a dog that's probably about 110.
That Christmas one's freaking amazing too. Where's the one I used? Oh, I'm not gonna find it. This is gonna look so bad. See what happens when you try to do new shit, people? Like, just give it up already. No, I'm just.
No, you're fine.
Oh Lord, where's it at? This one. It's Puggo again, but just like the.
Yep.
Just a full laid back.
He's a ham, dude.
Make you think about holidays. It is what it is. You gotta love it, right? Like it's. And I think that's where I started coming in, is when you were showing pictures like this, man. And I was like, dude, it makes you feel like you're at home, essentially. Like you could already get a reading off of who you were as a person, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we've clicked right off the bat, essentially, is we're very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big family guy. I mean, I don't have wife and kids yet, but I grew up playing hockey, so there's big family camaraderie with that too. So,
right. Oh yeah. What would you say your taste in music is? Because everything that I look at, it kind of seems like you're more towards the heavy metal, but I feel like
it's all over.
Like you're a bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So like my Spotify will go from like, I gravitate towards like metal and heavier stuff. I grew up with that. There's like VHS tapes of me 4 years old singing Metallica songs and stuff. But then you'll look at my Spotify and it'll go from like Johnny Cash to Eminem to like Metallica to like Tiesto and stuff like that. It's all over the damn place.
Oh yeah, man.
But I definitely gravitate towards the heavier stuff for sure.
And you appreciate some zombie, obviously. Like that's a big thing.
I mean,
you and your dad
the poster,
yeah,
right here.
Dude, I had to use that picture when I saw it. I was just like, if you only knew. I've been following zombies since it was White Zombie, not even Rob Zombie. Like his entire career, essentially, I've been following him. I love the dude.
My dad and I got to meet him at a concert.
Mastermind.
And that was super cool. He's actually super chill, nice guy too.
You wouldn't think it, but like he's super he's a super introvert, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the best people, at least for those avenues, really are, because like they give you their full for like a solid 2 hours.
Yeah, I just want to go home and sit in my house.
I just want to sit in my fucking van and play my guitar or do whatever, and it is what it is. But which is cool, man. Like I actually, when I got my first real taste of freedom in life and started working for myself, I'm a huge 9 Inch Nails fan, man. Like I love everything that Trent Reznor's done over the years.
He's like a creative genius, or just genius period, honestly.
Fucking amazing. And I followed him for what tour was it? I forget what tour it was. Good Lord. Oh no. It was right after With Teeth. I forget.
I'm trying to think.
It wasn't Go. Anyway, so I go up. I'm living in New Mexico at the time, and I literally get off of work. I've been following them on this tour, and I had to go back home, raise funds and shit, right? Get out of work. I drive all the way up to Red Rocks overnight. Have the money for the, like, I didn't even have a ticket, but I was like, I'm gonna get a ticket. I'm gonna get a ticket. I'm gonna buy it. And they're sold out. And then I start talking on the forum, and they're like, hey, we live in town, but we can't make the concert. We already bought our tickets. Here you go. So I met them right before the concert, go into the show, realize that I had to pay more than fucking actual price of the ticket because it was day of, right? And they wanted to make their money. So I have gas to get about halfway home. I don't have money for food. I don't have money for drink. I have other friends with me. Like we're all like, we're scrounging at this point,
starving to go to the show.
Yeah, we're on the fucking venue, like, or the forum site, and we're like, this is the best fucking show ever. We don't know how we're getting home, but this is the best fucking show ever. Like, fuck yeah. And we run across some people that we know in the forum. Like, we're at the show. Like, give us or meet us here after the show. We end up linking up. We cruise some beers. We fucking. They go to McDonald's for us. Give us like, I think there's like 4 of us in the van, and they give us like 8 double cheeseburgers, and they're like, "Here you go.
Please
Here's
eat."
$40 cash. Good luck getting home."
Oh my God.
But it's like, it was perfect, man. And you can't. I have a weird thing about finding people that are generous enough like that, and it's not that I'm looking for it, but like that, it's happened to me on more than one occasion where
Yeah.
it's like, I'm gonna make this happen, and it just kind of falls into place. You know what I mean?
You know, the thing is too, though, like everyone kind of assumes like, oh, metal fans, they're all crazy and wild and evil
We
and blah blah
drink
blah. But like,
blood and hate
yeah, I'm like,
everybody.
they're like the nicest people. Where like, if someone falls in the pit, usually they pick you like, "Are you okay? Yeah, you're okay. Okay, come on." Like, they're trying to murder
Unless you're in the
everybody.
death wall. Like, if you're in the death wall, then we're definitely trying to kill you.
Yeah, if you're in the wall of death, you're asking for trouble for sure. I don't go near that. I'm too old for that now.
You just made me.
It's like,
Dude, I feel it. Those
I
like,
go into
I don't
a
even want to
pit.
do mosh pits anymore.
I
man.
do. I go to a pit and I'm like, the next day my back hurts and I'm like, this is not. I'm like, I'm not 22 anymore. I can't do this shit anymore, man.
So being out there in the, not necessarily the country, but you're like right there where you can get to mountains. You can do anything that you want, essentially. Like, you can be in the beach within a couple of hours, mountains within a couple of hours, desert. Like, you are in prime location to be like a mega herper.
Yeah.
When did that lifestyle start for you?
Oh God. So growing up, I had all the pets. I was allowed any pet I wanted. I had dogs, hamsters, birds, fish, you name it, except for reptiles. I was not allowed to keep any kind of, no lizards, no snakes, nothing. My parents were like, no, absolutely not. And I'm like, thinking, this is the easiest damn pet in the world. They eat once a week. Why would you not let me have this? Like, so that happened. And I moved out at 22, or no, 23. And then my roommates, same thing. They're like, no snakes, no reptiles, no. I'm like, okay. And then I moved out with my girlfriend at that time, and she was like, absolutely not, no snakes, no nothing. So I'm like, just my whole life, I'm just getting told, no, 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 you can't do this. And then when I hit 29, I finally got my own place on myself, and I was like, I'm buying all the shit I want now.
I'm fucking doing it.
I'm jumping in now. Or no, I was 30. I was 30. Because I joke about it being like my midlife crisis.
Dude, I feel you. Like 100%. I think so. I was like, I'm gonna have a collection, but I'm not gonna do anything with it. I'm just gonna have a collection. And then
that was my
I went
idea
into,
too.
You know what? I can make something out of this. Like, I know I can do it. And I looked at my wife and I was like, we're doing it. And it turned it like riding my motorcycle way too fucking fast and doing stupid shit on it, and deciding that I'm gonna be a reptile breeder became my midlife crisis. I totally feel that.
Yeah, I started out with a normal, and then like 2 weeks later I found Morph Market, and I was like, oh, what is this? Like, oh, there's morphs. Oh, there's all these colors. So I got like a Fire Mojave that's I'm actually pairing up now finally, and then I got a pastel butter Enchi boy, and all 3 were in tanks and everything. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, this will be good, and then I can breed, the Fire Mojave girl to the pastel Enchi butter boy and make some blue-eyed Lucy's. That's what I wanted.
Right.
And then next thing I know, I've got
everyone gravitates to that right off the
and everything.
Everyone gravitates to that morph right off the bat. My wife's still on it. We've been in the hobby for 4 years, and I refused to buy her one because I was like, you can buy any $200 snake and create that. Like, I'll make it for you.
It's funny too because I'm like a huge fan of like the dark genetics. Like, I love all the dark morphs, 100%. But I also know not everyone has that mindset. So I'm like, I got to make shit that's also like blue-eyed Lucy's and like albinos and all that to not limit myself on the market.
So you took that mentality right from the start that this will be a business. Once I
started buying like better snakes that weren't like $100 to $200 snakes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm like, if I'm going to pay this much for a snake, I'm going to make something out of it now. Like, It's not just gonna sit in a tank and not
you don't want to pay $1,500 for a pet?
For a pet? No.
Come on, bro.
If that was the case, I would have bought a freaking Belgian Malinois.
Hell yeah. So you said you started with or bringing in Freedom Breeder racks. What's been your kind of go-to, man? Like, how do you decide this is what's going to fit within my projects now, or this is what I want to work? This is the equipment that I want to use. Like, what's your mindset on setting your business up?
I do a lot of playing with like the genetic calculator for sure. So I'll look at, what's this morph do if I put it with this morph, and I'll see if it's comes up and has a picture. I'm like, okay, well, that looks cool. And then a lot of just browsing people's pages, like for sure. Like I know Josh from J Royals, he has all that good dark stuff. So I'll see like, oh, he put acid with this. Okay, well now I really want acid because it looks good with like GHI and clown. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and then like rack wise, I debated a long time between ARS and Freedom Breeder, but I'm into like my whole aesthetic is like kind of like Garrett Hartle's aesthetic with like the wood and the rustic look. So Freedom Breeder being all stainless steel, I was like, well, that's totally my style. I need that. I'll pay a little bit more for the shipping, you know.
You could just drive up there. It's like 4 hours.
I could honestly. It's like 4.5. I think I should have, but maybe the next one. But yeah, I mean, the only gripe I have with Freedom Breeder, honestly, is that there are some parts that are sharp, and I did like cut my hand open putting it together yesterday. But that's really it. I mean, I think they're worth the money, and they hold their value. So even if, you know, let's say you buy a rack and then you don't want it 5 years later, you kind of get most of your money back for it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like I don't think there's any doubt that the money that you have to put up front for those racks is worth it. Yeah. It was more I don't have the wait time. Like
that's the killer.
Even now I'm like super impatient, but
yep. That's been the hardest part. I have 2 racks from one's just a single stack, and then one's the custom one with like the stainless steel top and everything that holds 20 FB70s.
Okay.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, because it's 4 across 5 high. Yeah, and it's worth the money, but it was like 23 weeks, I think. So that was kind of killer.
I can't do that.
I ordered some Sea Serpents racks because I'm like, those hold their value too. So I'm like, I'll buy these, and then when their wait time goes down, I'll buy more like hatchling racks from them, and then just sell the PVC ones. Honestly, probably.
Right. No, I don't blame you, man. Like I said, I went ARS, but I went ARS because I couldn't do a 20-week wait time.
Yeah. Well, they're like 8 weeks, I think. So
yeah,
huge difference.
I mean, even ARS, I think they're at like 10 weeks right now, but that's not that bad, in all honesty. I got another 7 girls that are waiting to be moved into a 40 so that I can get them big enough to breed. So I was like, yeah, I can't wait over half a year for a fucking rack to get them to size to breed, man. Like
I literally had 1 spot left in all my racks before the rack that came yesterday showed up. I was like, I can't buy any snakes right now because I have literally nowhere to put them unless I put them in a friggin' tank.
So when you started investing, man, like did you just go towards names that you knew or names that were popular in the industry?
Yeah.
Did you start looking?
It's a little bit of both. It's like it's people that I'd already been following and already had established. Like, okay, well, I know I can trust this guy because I've been following him for like a year or 2, so he's not going to screw me over.
I mean, like if he does, you'll have the proof that.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but what the hell, bro? Like, I thought we were cool. Why'd you sell me this snake that's not actually a het?
Let me give you this. What is it? ODYB triple het real quick, and don't worry, it'll prove first year.
It'll prove out, yeah.
Got you.
And then more established names for sure. Like obviously, getting snakes from Justin, you know what you're getting there, 100%.
Oh yeah. Well, even with Justin, man, you don't know. Like there could be some extra hits in there that he didn't even know.
Like he sold.
You're getting candy. You're getting Halloween candy from Justin.
The first snake I got from him was a leopard, and then het pied, and then possible het clown, and then he said possible yellow belly. He goes, I can't guarantee that it's yellow belly, so I'm not going to sell it to you as yellow belly. He goes, but I think it's yellow belly. And then I look at it now, I'm like, it's for sure yellow belly. Like, oh yeah.
That's a crazy thing though, man. Like, especially when you get them young. Like, there's stuff that I'm looking at and I know it's in there, but it doesn't show predominantly until it ages a little bit. Like, you get 400, 500 grams on it, and
That's
then you
where
can
she's at
actually
now. She's at
see
like
it.
600, and you can now
Yeah.
see her. Like, okay, yeah, I can see the yellow belly in there for sure now.
Hell yeah.
Because before when I first got her, I was like, I have no idea.
Weird one though, man. Like, yellow belly, you should see fairly quickly.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself taking this? Like, do you want this to eventually be full time, like hundreds of snakes? Do you want this to be, hey, this is a supplemental business, or
for
like
sure,
a
for
little
sure,
401k setup, essentially?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right now the goal is within the next like 3 to 4, maybe 5 years, make it like at the very least self-sustainable. Like pays for itself. But I would like the goal is to make this like my main job for sure. Because I mean, my dad's 16. He's like wants to retire in like 10 years. So right now the plan is kind of like it's flowing in motion the right way where mine could take off. That would also allow him to just retire and not worry about having to help me with the construction. Because the way it went was my grandpa never really retired. He handed the job or the business to my dad, and they would come in like 2 times a week just to help out. So that would kind of be our relationship too. It'd be I would take over, and then he would just come in occasionally to do whatever he wants to help out with. But
or you look at it, well, I mean, depending on what time it or what age it is and how your parents are set up now. I mean, working that hard, hopefully they got some stuff put away. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean he's a workaholic. That's why I'm like, when he talks about retiring, I'm like, I can't even see you retiring. Like you don't like to sit still. You don't like being home. Like, but and I told him, I was like, well, you can come work for me if you want. And he goes, I don't like. He hates snakes. He's terrified of snakes. Like, I actually the first normal that I bought is in my office in a tank, actually, like display tank and all that. And he's just like, not about it. it'll be out, and he'll walk in and just be like, oh god, why do you have
that? How many siblings do you have?
2 younger sisters.
Okay.
So
the sister's going to take over the family practice?
No, dude, they're both. So the youngest one is getting PhD in child development, and then the middle one is getting a PhD in some other like sociology stuff. And then you got me, who didn't even finish college.
You came from a smart family, man.
Yeah, they're smarty pants, and I'm like, oh, I'm the dropout. So.
Oh yeah. That's crazy, dude. Like,
I'm proud of them though, for sure. Though, I mean, more power to them. There's no jealousy or animosity at all between any of us.
It doesn't sound like it at all.
No. No.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I even coached the youngest sister for a little bit with hockey.
So when dad decides to step down and retire, then does that mean the business liquidates, or you guys sell it off? Or
I think what he's doing is probably going to just sell it off for sure. And then it actually works out to a certain extent too, because they bought a building for the business that they use to like store stuff and all that. And the building's actually set up pretty solid to where I could turn it into like an actual facility.
Right.
So I already told them, I was like, well, I'll pay rent. Like, I will rent this building out. Do not get rid of it, please. Like, it's perfectly built to where I can put rats in this part and then put like an incubator here and racks all through here.
Hell yeah.
So hopefully that works out.
So you already have your infrastructure.
I've got a lot of stuff just kind of like, if everything works out the way I hope it does, already set in motion for sure.
Hell yeah.
And that spot's only like 20 minutes away from where I live, so it's not too far.
Oh, that's not bad at all, man.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
It's not like Justin where he can just drive out of his house and cruise down there.
Dude, that's the shit I'm trying to do when I move to northern Texas, man. Like, I told my wife, I was like, I want like 2 to 3 acres. Maybe if I could find more, I might go with more, but 2 to 3 acres. And then the house is on one part, and then you have to go down a separate street to get to the rats and the snakes, and be like, just get everything out of the house. That's all I want.
My whole mindset is if I ever do leave California, which I think it's probably 50-50 right now. That because I mean, just knowing what I could sell for here and buy like in Texas or Arizona or literally anywhere that'd be the other option would be to sell here, move there, put not a huge facility, but just something big enough to house everything that's not in my house. Because right now it's all in one room, but the goal is to eventually move all my ball pythons to a separate bedroom. That way I can close the door and like regulate the climate in there better. Because right now they're in a den with no door, so it's wide open. So temperatures aren't always perfectly accurate in there.
I mean that happens in your first couple of years. Like
Yeah.
you'll even when you have a facility and you feel like everything's right, you're gonna start tweaking.
Oh, yeah,
Just because
you'll
your
find stuff,
curiosity, yeah, your curiosity is gonna hit, right? Like I've had all my snakes in this room for multiple years. I'm like, well, if I did this during the winter, maybe it would make the room more energy efficient or something stupid, you know, like, or if I close the vents just a little bit more and I have a fan like hooked up on the roof, then
get
it'll
better airflow going this
circulate,
way,
and then I won't have to worry about a space heater to maintain
Yep.
an 80 ambient and all this other shit, right? Like you're
Yeah,
always going
even
to tweak.
my snake room right now, I look at photos that last like a year and a half, and I feel like I move shit around every like 3 months in that room, and I'm just like, I need to right now. I'm just like, nothing's getting moved. I've got way too much stuff. I'm not doing this. Like, no. Especially with all the racks down. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll probably do it in like 4 months. Yeah, once I get another rack in, start moving things around. I actually had to move. The worst part that happened to me was when I took out my white lip, and he like, I didn't even know how they were this fast. He just like shot out of my hands, took off, and then went right up through my Freedom Breeder rack. Tried to get under the heat panels, couldn't get under that. So then went around the rack and then went behind my other PVC racks behind the wall. So I had to take out all the racks just to get him out. I was like, God.
So how many species are you working with now? Because I know you have the ball pythons, the white lip.
The white lip. I've got
super
two dwarfs. Yeah, two dwarfs from Garrett, and then I've got a carpet python too.
Okay. So
but I think the white lip and the carpet are just gonna be like pets, that's like display snakes.
Someone's gonna talk you into it.
For sure.
MJ's gonna talk your ass into another white lip interbreeding. Yeah. I guarantee.
The dwarfs, I would like to breed dwarfs eventually, but it would be like small scale, like side project, nothing, not like the ball pythons at all.
Right. No, I completely feel that, man. I thought the same thing with mainlands, and as much as it pains me to say, I think they're the day where I'll release all my retics right now is unfortunately probably coming soon.
Is it?
Just to create room for what I'm trying to grow while I'm in this space.
Yeah.
Because I'm quickly running out of space.
That's why I went with the dwarfs. Like I love retics to death, but like I cannot, like the idea of having a 15 to 20 foot snake and having to have that big of an enclosure just takes up so much freaking room in one room.
I mean, so all of mine are mainlands, unfortunately, too. And they're like that a year and a half or 2 years, right when they really start that major growth.
Yeah.
You know? So it's okay, I need to buy those 10-foot long enclosures, which essentially is
a whole wall,
the length of this room. And I need 4 of them, which is floor to roof.
Yep.
And now I have to figure out how to fit hatchling racks and fit a breeding rack and fit a desk and all the setup for recording and all that, which I'm not saying it's not possible, but I feel like it'd be better to find someone that already has the capabilities of taking care of these animals and be like, hey, I will sell them to you, but there's caveat. You get to have like a clutch or 2 with them if that's what you want to do with them. And I have the potential to buy them back as adults. Is essentially what I'm going to try to set up. That way, after we move and I have buildings set up,
you have the room to get them back, maybe.
Exactly.
Yep.
But
that's a smart way to do it. Yeah. I actually, ironically, my first snake, I almost accidentally got a retic. I was like totally like uneducated, was looking at snakes. And I was like, oh, like this one looks pretty cool. I think I like this one. It was like I think it was just I think it was a golden child retic, I think.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm going down there. I'm ready to go buy it. Like I'm set. I'm gonna buy this steak. And then I look and I'm like, oh, it says reticulated python. I was like, wait, what? So like I Google it and I'm like, oh God, no. I was like, I cannot. I was in an apartment at this time, like a small little 700 square foot apartment, and I was like, I cannot fit a 20-foot snake in there. No way.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was actually I didn't. That apartment I had my first 3 snakes in there, and I did not tell them at all. They had no idea. And when I moved up, people were like, "Wait, you didn't tell your apartment complex that you had snakes?" And I'm like, "No, should I have?" And they're like, probably." I was like, "What they don't know won't hurt them." They didn't get out. It's also like Irvine, California, which is like the bougie, fancy area.
Yeah,
of California.
you would have been kicked instantly, bro.
If one of those snakes would have gotten out, someone would have freaked out. They would have lost their mind.
Oh man, I can only imagine. The only place where I've so I've been in a couple of I wouldn't even say bougie. I'd just be like, I feel like I don't belong there areas.
So I felt there for sure. And I'm
Malibu,
like, I don't know,
man. Like I rolled through there one time in a car, and just being in a rental car. It was a nice rental car too. It wasn't like the Impala or something like that.
Like a Mustang.
They didn't have any, and it was a rental company out of California. So they're like, "Oh, all we have is the premium, but you requested the fucking."
Like we don't have these cars here.
Yeah. They're like, your taste is too poor for us. We don't carry that here. So I'm rolling around in I think it was like it's like an Audi or a higher echelon VW, right? So like not crazy expensive, but it's some money.
A nice car.
And like I'm rolling down Highway 1 through Malibu. I'm just like, fuck, I don't belong here. Like,
I feel so out of place.
Can I just get through these 20 stoplights real quick that are like conveniently exactly a block apart?
That's how I felt living in Irvine. Because you'd get people that lived in my apartment complex that were like, I know they didn't own these cars, they just probably leased them. But they had Ferraris and like fancy ass cars. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got my little Jeep Patriot, no big deal.
What is up, Chris? Thank you, sir.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, like it has a way of humbling you, but then you look at the coastline and you see all the surfers, and you go up through Malibu and like through I'm gonna say this wrong, Ventura,
yeah.
Ventura, and fucking through Santa Cruz and into Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo and all those areas, and you're just like looking at the coastline and you're like, okay, I had to get through the ritzy part. Like I saw where the money came from, but
that's what I was saying. It's a love-hate living there for sure. Like it's super love-hate.
The freaking coastline out there made me fall in love. Like there's this pier that they did a lot of the shooting for Chasing Mavericks off of. And I saw the rock face for that while I was driving. Literally pulled over and took pictures. Straight went into tourist mode. Like jumped into one of the fucking beach parking lots. Was supposed to pay, didn't pay because I was only staying there for 5 minutes. And I was like, sent him to my wife real quick, and was like, "This is the spot. Like I'm literally standing in the spot where they filmed my favorite movie."
I mean, that's me whenever I go to like New York or Florida or anything. I take photos all the time. I have no shame.
So what are your other hobbies outside of reptiles? Because we could talk reptiles all night, but I think the big thing about what I'm trying to do now is let people see, okay, outside of reptiles, this is who the person is. I think that's where the focus should be more, especially for people that are just coming in, man. Like you gotta build that trust with the community.
Yeah, you gotta build that relationship and that personal thing going on. But for me, it's always been the biggest thing for me is concerts, which is probably been the hardest thing with COVID for me. It's been like 2 years at a concert. There's a show next week. It's Lamb of God and Megadeth, and I'm really hoping it does not get canceled or anything. I'll be absolutely devastated if it does. But that's the big thing for me is shows, which my dad and I go to a lot of shows together. He's the one that got me hooked on metal. So Whenever it's a metal shot, I go with him. Sports, I grew up playing hockey for 20 years, 22 years. So
Wow.
hockey games as much as I can. Baseball, I like a little bit for the most part, obviously, because I got my Yankees hat on.
How are you from Cali and you like the Yankees, bro?
You
Isn't that
know,
like blasphemous
it,
down
it
there?
is. It is. I get a lot of shit actually, but for the most part, growing up, I stuck to players that I
Okay.
liked, and then I rooted for those teams. So with
Oh, yeah.
hockey, I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan because all my favorite players growing up played for the Red Wings. And then with baseball, I became a Yankees fan because I was like Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, all those guys. I was like, yes, I love this
Red
team.
Wings. That was what was his name? Lundqvist, right? That was the
No, no,
goalie,
that was
or
the
no?
Rangers.
That was the Rangers.
Yeah,
L- I know it's an L. It's like
Lidstrom.
Lidstrom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was probably one of my favorite players growing up too, for
Okay.
sure. So it's
See,
sports.
I know a little bit of
You,
hockey.
you,
Like
you got it,
I grew
yeah.
up in the desert. I don't know shit about it, but
Well, that's why everyone
well,
laughs.
like,
They're like, "Wait, you grew up in California? How'd you get into hockey?"
yeah,
I'm
but
like,
it's
"Yeah."
Cali, man. Like
I'm like,
everything's
I probably should have played baseball, but I chose hockey, which is probably shot myself in the foot, but it's okay. It was worth it. I met some.
that's good, man.
I've got friends that I've had since I was 12 years old through it to this day. So,
But
super cool.
I can totally relate with you on that freaking player notion, right? Because
Yeah,
like I grew up, I loved basketball, man. Like I could spend hours and hours and hours outside just shooting by myself. And then I grew up like towards the downfall of Michael Jordan,
yeah,
essentially, I guess is the best way of saying it,
yeah.
you
Because I
know,
think I was
like the
like
same era that we grew up in.
8ish when he
Um,
was at his peak. I think.
yeah, I think we were, yeah, because I think we're right around the same age. I think you might have a couple years on me.
Yeah, I'm
But,
turning 34 in January.
oh yeah, no, I'm older than you, man. I turned 34 in 2 months.
Oh wow.
So like, yeah, we're watching him once he retired and he decided to go fucking play
Play
baseball of all
baseball.
things. Come out of retirement and play 4 more
Then come
years
back.
and
Yeah.
go buy the Wizards and be like, well, I'm going to be an owner player and an owner coach and an owner player coach and everything. Like I am basketball.
Yeah. I own this sport.
Yeah.
So
And then,
there's only one Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan.
right,
Not everyone can be Bo Jackson
right.
and just be like, I'm gonna go play baseball after football now. No big deal, and
And
be
then
really good at
Kobe
both.
came in, man. Like
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant came into the picture and diehard Lakers fan ever since
Yeah.
until
That's
he retired and unfortunately went down in a flame of glory,
yep.
essentially.
Yep.
But yeah, man,
That
like,
hit me harder than I thought it would too. Because like I don't get affected by celebrity deaths. Because for me, it's like, oh, I didn't know the person on a personal level. Like I
I
get being upset, but
watched
yeah, when he died, I was like,
everything, man.
oh, I was like,
I
man.
still do. Like my wife looks at me like I'm fucking psychotic sometimes because I'll line up like 3 or 4 fucking YouTube videos on Kobe Bryant documentaries. She's like, why are you so obsessed? I was like, it's simply that. Like his
This is my
obsession.
childhood.
Well, it's kind of, yeah, I guess it kind of goes to that, man. Like I think we're at the age where we're kind of trying to hold on to our childhood a little bit, but
Oh, for
his
sure.
obsession for basketball, like I'm going to be this. This is what I am. And I'm trying to find that passion. You know what I mean? Like to
Yeah.
see that in someone, to
Well,
see
his
someone
drive
reach
was just
those
unreal.
picks. Exactly. Like tell me a guy that'll work, like legitimately work out for 40 hours before a fucking game.
Yep.
Doesn't care. Before the Olympics, he worked out for 48 hours straight before the Olympic fucking games
Monster.
and still brought home a gold and like still had more in the tank.
I mean, he shot those free throws with a freaking torn Achilles. I'm like, dude. Most dudes would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go off.
Amazing.
Someone will take my shots. I can't do this. He's like, no, I'm doing it.
Well, not even that. Like he's so good, man. Him and Mike had a thing where if you pissed him off the last time you played him, they held on to it, right?
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
they would legitimately walk into the fucking locker rooms of the other team, be like, "Who's guarding me?" And then when they found out, they're like, "All right, I'm
Yeah.
scoring this much tonight," and they fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, just to
Just
call it
that
like
like
that.
that spiteful, like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna make
that's
this
some
guy pay next
JKR
time.
shit right there. Like,
Yeah.
I've been at it 20 years. I'm the greatest. Oh, you think you're gonna make this? Watch this shit. I call it this year. Like, obviously, it's a little different for us
Yeah.
because genetics and it's essentially a
And
gamble,
it's a
so you can't
gamble,
guarantee
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like if you could pair 100 girls to try to make a combo, you're gonna get that combo.
At some point. It's actually funny because my friends that have nothing to do with like snake stuff, they're like, "So you're like essentially a snake pimp?" And I'm like, "Well,
Essentially.
when you put it that way, I guess, yeah." Like I prefer scientists if you're gonna go any route, but because I'm working with genetics and stuff. But yeah.
So you said you were also like you're kind of into photography a little bit, like
A
you
little
like
bit,
taking
yeah.
pictures. There's a picture that I used for the promotion of this and I used for the thumbnail, and I think you already know where I'm going with this. I need to know the story behind this fucking picture, dude.
Which one is this one? So that one is that's from Wasteland Weekend. So if you are a fan of Mad Max or Fallout or any post-apocalyptic thing, that festival is basically a giant Burning Man festival, but themed Mad Max.
Jesus.
It's actually amazing. I love it. It's actually at the end of next month. I'm not going this year because I've got too much shit going on, and it's tickets for that are like $275, and then it's 5 days. So you got to pay for all your food because you're literally camping in the middle of nowhere. You're actually right next to Edwards Air Base.
Okay.
So it's right out there, middle of nowhere. You can drive out of the desert, go into town and get food, but I probably wouldn't want to eat at most of these places because it's like not the cleanest part of town.
Camp out,
like.
bro.
Yeah, you camp out. It's a lot of fun though, man. I love it.
Have you had MREs? MREs?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. We actually brought MREs not last year, but the year before and ate them. And I was like, oh, this is an experience. Okay. It's actually funny because my buddy left them at my house after we got back from Wasteland. He's like, oh, just leave them here for next year. No big deal. And then COVID hit and I was like, fuck yeah, I got all the MREs. I'm set to go.
All the TP. I'm just saying, every MRE has its own TP. I'm just saying, guys.
But yeah, it's a super fun festival. I mean, you would think like the people you see there, you would think, okay, I'm not gonna get in this guy's car or eat his food because he looks like a serial killer. But nicest people I've ever met in my life, like hands down. Like you'll be walking because they have a theme, like a big themed city there, that has like Thunderdome and like all kinds of stuff. And you'll be walking through the city and guys will be like, hey, are you hungry? Did you eat yet? No. Oh, come on in. We got like we're roasting a pig. So you go eat a pig, and then you'll be walking down again and be like, hey, do you guys like beer? Yeah. Oh, we brew our own beer. Come on, come get some beer. Just you can kind of go there without anything and survive, but I wouldn't advise it.
I would recommend that.
I would recommend bringing supplies. Yeah.
Take some rations.
There was an RV that caught fire one year. So obviously the people that were in the RV lost everything, and the whole community kind of just came to kind of like the snake community for the most part. You know, it was they all came together and just like, here, you're gonna eat this day, you're gonna camp here this day. We got you covered. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude.
But yeah,
it's crazy too because it's kind of like the energy you put out, man. Like the energy that you put out in the world, you get back. And I honestly didn't believe it for a long time. Like I didn't ever believe in karma or anything like that, or like putting energy out. I was just like, whatever I need done, I'm gonna make sure happens, right? But it wasn't like a mentality. Now it's like, you know, I might not like you per se, but you're going through a hard time, so I'm gonna take care of you.
Exactly how I see.
If I need it, I want someone to fucking.
It doesn't matter how much I dislike somebody. If I see them going through some shit, I'm not gonna try to kick them while they're down. You know.
And then like on top of that, I've had the weird fucking circumstances, like I was saying earlier, like the traveling back home, not knowing how I'm getting home. Oh, here's your food. Here's your money for gas, you know, and shit like that. Like I've had way too many of those instances in my life where it's like, I think that's my sign. I'm supposed to fucking be nice to people, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
I mean, I kind of live by the whole mindset of like it takes more energy to be a negative, hateful person does it be a nice, positive person. Like why waste your energy being a dick? You know?
So
there's no point. And then, like you said, you're putting that negative energy out there. You're gonna get negative energy back. So
that's the fun part, though. Like, kind of spiteful, man. Like,
oh, don't get me wrong. I can be spiteful
it's like,
when I need to be.
Hey, you're going through some shit. I feel bad for you. Here you go. Like, I want you to eat and everything, but I'm just watching.
I mean,
great show.
My neighbors.
I needed my
example.
novellas. You know what I mean?
My neighbors are a prime example. I live in a cul-de-sac, so I have one neighbor. They've got this like mini schnauzer who's just a little jerk. Anytime either of my dogs is outside, he fence fights my dogs. Every time. Well, like, it doesn't matter if my dogs are out there first or if he's out there first. They cannot be in the yard together at all. Well, one morning before work, I'm taking a shower, and whenever I take a shower, I let the dogs out to go do their business and run around. I'm in the shower, and all of a sudden I hear the dogs barking and fighting, fence fighting. I'm like, shit. And then I hear this like screeching, like panic dog sounding like he's getting mauled. And I'm like, oh God. Oh God.
The Rottweiler got him.
Oh God. I'm like, no, not like this. I'm like, not like this, please. So like, yeah, the shower, throw my clothes on, run down there. There's no dog in my yard, thank God. And I look, and he's just sitting by the sliding glass door like nothing happened. So I go outside, and neighbor's out there. He's like, hey, your dog, like, he bit our dog. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I have a camera right where the incident happened, like right there. So I go back and look at my camera, and I'm like, no, your dog was on the fence. My dog was on the fence. He pushed the PVC paneling in. Your dog's paw got caught. And then when my dog got off the fence, it pinched his paw. That's why he was freaking out. So they take the dog to the vet. He ends up like the next day has like a wrap on his hand or something. And I ended up calling animal control on my dog. So I'm at work, and I get the notification on my doorbell that someone's at the door, and I look. And I'm like, oh, great. So I go home, find the animal control, call them. They're like, oh, your neighbor filed an incident where your dog bit their dog, and da-da-da-da. So I have to explain the whole thing. And yeah, that went over great.
Did you keep the video?
Oh yeah, I got it's on my phone and everything. Yeah, 100%. But this has a point. The spitefulness, my spitefulness in this is, I do my yard work every Sunday at 7 a.m. now.
Oh.
Because I'm like, you call animal control my dog. That's my kid. You come after my kid, like we're gonna have a problem, man. And I won't have had an issue with it had they just come over to my house and said, hey, this happened. How are we gonna solve it?
Right.
Like, what can we do to fix this? But they didn't. They didn't even they didn't come over. They didn't try to figure it out. They just called animal control right away. And I'm like, dude, you cost me like $200 because I had to go register my dog now and get his, shots done again and all this crap. So I was like,
Now, man, speaking of cul-de-sacs, I don't think since I've moved to Texas, I've been in an area that wasn't in I'm not technically in a cul-de-sac. I'm across from the cul-de-sac on my street, which is even fucking worse, to be honest. Because they're the ones that like to party.
Yeah.
And it just reverberates off of all of them.
It's so weird. So I live on a cul-de-sac.
Comes right at my house, dude.
There's a cul-de-sac behind my house, which is like you said, this is the party. Like parties like every 2 weeks there's a party. I don't know what the hell they do over there. But all the time, and it's super loud. I'm like,
it's Cali.
Okay, whatever.
It's all legal.
My cul-de-sac, quiet as hell. You would never think anything would go on there. It's the strangest shit. I assumed there'd be kids running all over the streets, like most cul-de-sacs are. No. I think there's one house here that has a kid, and that's it. It's super strange.
I think like a lot of the people I have here, they're young parents or they're all military. So
I think that's kind of how mine
once it hits the weekend, they got to blow off that steam, So I understand.
You gotta let it out.
Yeah, I understand coming from that background, But like I give it to like 10:30. Okay, sometimes 11. I try to be nice, But it's like I got little kids and I'm already exhausted from the day, so I'm like,
yeah, you want to get your nice piece of quiet.
You're good. You're good. Like you guys could be out here and party all fucking night. I just don't want to feel it in my house.
Exactly.
So just turn the music down, please. I'm that old
Yeah.
man. I'm the fucking old man on the block now. Man.
Actually, the craziest thing about where I live, I did not read everything fully like I should have, and some of my HOA rules are actually pretty whack. So technically, to have an exotic pet in my house, I have to clear it through HOA, which I didn't do obviously because I've got like 30 snakes almost. But even like they even had fish on there too, like exotic fish. You had to clear through the HOA. I'm like, how can you like tell me what I can and can't keep in my house? Go
catch a bass.
Yeah, I'm like it's the strangest shit. So like, I have to behave myself because if they find out I have snakes in this house, they will for sure call HOA 100%. So,
and then the thought of that is like, don't get me wrong. Like I love Californians. I love the money that you guys bring everywhere. I'm not gonna lie, but the idea of HOAs has pissed me off in Texas.
They're awful.
Like it's so hard to move.
I can only have 2 dogs. I'm only allowed 2 dogs because of my HOA.
I couldn't do it, man. Like
it's insane.
I'm looking for essentially what's it called? So you have the residential zoning, your commercial zoning, and then your livestock zoning, right? Or it's a mixed zone / livestock zoning, essentially is what they call it. And that's what I'm looking for as far as a place to live.
That's what I wanted.
It's so fucking hard to find.
I wanted like goats. Like I wanted goats and chickens, and I was looking up where I live, and I'm like, oh, I can't have goats and chickens. Okay, well that makes sense.
That's crazy, man.
But I can just imagine.
I couldn't do it. Like I don't know how people survive in HOAs.
It's so hard to find anywhere in California that doesn't have it at this point. Like everywhere you look, there's some kind of HOA.
Even the small town, like this, because I was looking. Like to be honest, when I first got out of the military, I was obsessed with moving to SLO, man, and it's like we're gonna do it. And I told my wife because I love the super shows. I love being out there. Like I just love the coastline. And I was like, we have the mountains and we have the desert and we have this and we have that. And oh, my sister lives like 3 hours away from us at that point. And it'd be good because my sister and brother-in-law live up in Manteca. I was like, so I could go to Manteca and I could spend the night at their house before I go to the Sacramento show.
You'd be in your freedom breeder.
Yeah, I could go get freedom breeder shit for like cost.
Yeah.
I could work for freedom breeder maybe if I could get in good with them. Like who knows? Like
be the next Jimmy Cruz.
It's a win-win. Fuck, man. Like, but finally, after looking at it all of it, I was just like, man, I can't do it. Like it's so expensive. The housing market is fucking ridiculous.
It's so up and down. Like they're right now, people are overpaying for houses, like 20,000 overvalue on some places where I'm like, that's insane.
Dude, El Paso. I don't know if it's all Texas, but El Paso, the average price. Like I've had multiple friends have contracts being written up for closing, and then someone comes in with another bid, so they cancel the contract. Like the average house right now is 120% of market value.
Oh my God.
In El Paso. I'm looking at it like if I time this shit out right, I'm gonna walk away with fucking bank and my equity.
Yep.
Like I could pay half of the new fucking house down cash day one.
That's what I'm hoping.
If I do it right.
I'm hoping the California market just keeps climbing up, and then when the time comes, if I do want to leave, I'm at this peak mountaintop where I can just sell it and then move Texas or Arizona and just buy a big ass, like you said, acres. Yeah. Everyone's like, well, Arizona is so hot. I'm like, yeah, you're talking to a guy that grew up in the desert of California for most of my life. I'm not a desert. The heat is not an issue for me. I don't like it, but I can live in it.
Hell yeah. So what are your plans? Oh, holy fuck, we've already been on for an hour. I lost track. My bad. What are your plans? We'll get back into snakes a little bit. This is gonna be a good one to break up. What are your plans with your snakes, bro?
So obviously a lot of dark genetics for sure, and I actually have Exanthic that I want to put into it too. I want to see, because I have VPI, and everyone always talks about how VPI browns out and doesn't look good when it gets older. So my logic is, well, what if I put like hypo and DG in it? Is that going to keep it from browning out and looking like kind of crappy? And like,
well, that essentially is looking at like creating a true ghost, right?
yeah, make it
Hell
like
yeah.
nice and white and gray and black without that browning over. Which the one girl I have right now is pastel in VPI. She's still not browned out, so I'm thinking pastel probably helps keep some of that from turning brown too.
Okay.
And then I've got Super Mahogany project that I want to work on too. So that was actually my last big buy was from Justin, which was the Suma, and then I got a Dreamsicle, and then I got a fire red stripe Enchi boy too.
You're a little bit all over there, bud.
Yes.
I like dark stuff, but you're naming off a lot of fucking enhancer genes over there.
So that's what I was saying earlier though. I initially bought a lot of dark stuff. So I bought Blackhead, GHI, Mojave, everything that could make dark snakes I got. And then I was kind of like, well, I need to get into the lighter stuff too. I need to get some albinos and like stuff to make bells, because bells always sell. Like you can go to a show and bring 10 bells and they'll probably all sell out. Everyone loves bells. So I've been going more towards the lighter genetic stuff to brighten things up for sure. So I want to cover both markets. I don't want to just focus on one thing, but the love is for sure dark.
Where are you at as far as breeding? Is this coming year your first year? Have you already produced?
Never produced. I actually had my first lock before Florida. It was like a week before Florida. So 2 weeks ago. I had my first lock, and that was the Fire Mojave girl that went to my, what is it? Pastel Enchi Orange Dream.
I feel like you posted that and I didn't.
I think it was on my stories. I don't think I actually posted in a post. Nope. So yeah, I'm hoping to get like some like fire OD that ends up getting the het clown, or some fire Mojave ODs. But that'll be, hopefully, fingers crossed, my first clutch coming up this year. And then I've got like 4 other females that are approaching like 1,000 grams, but they're like at 900, 890 around there. So by next year, they'll be ready to go. And then a few, that's 5. So then they got another like 10 that are around like 600-ish. So I'm hoping by like late next year, I'll have a good chunk of girls ready to go.
10-ish girls, hopefully ready.
Hopefully ready to go. And I've got, what is it? 6 boys. So, I mean, I started out with the mistake of buying boys first, like everybody else. You know, I was thinking, that boy,
it's cheaper.
He's cheap, and it's a really good deal. I should buy it now. I'm never going to see it for that price ever again. And then you buy it, and then 8 months later, you're like, oh, there's that snake again. It's cheaper. Okay. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know, but I've got the six boys, and then I think it's like 14 girls.
All right.
So I'm at like that 1.2 ratio, which I feel like is a decent.
That's smart, man. Yeah, that's smart. I'm actually looking at getting rid of pretty much all of my boys and revamping the entire collection, essentially. Be like, all right, these are the projects I want to work. I have 10 boys, 40 females, breed 20 each year, and I'll keep it probably at that level until we move and I can expand better.
The plan is right now, because a lot of my boys are hets, because that was the cheaper option, was to go head to head or do het boys and buy like I have some girls that are visual, so I figured we'll just do het to a visual instead of doing visual to visual. The plan is to eventually replace the boys with visuals, obviously. So. And then I would like to be, like right now, I would like to be at about 20 females by the end of the year. So I think I got like 6 more to go.
Dude, once you start fucking producing, that's you're gonna fill back your holdback spots, and then you're gonna be like, fuck.
I already know.
I need to make room. So
with how I am.
you were a holdback. You're gone now. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Either that or it's a new rack.
I'm gonna be that guy that's gonna be looking at all my snakes and be like, well, I could use it for this. Why would I sell it? I should just hold it back. And then
it's bad, dude.
A year later, be like, I probably should have just sold that snake.
Like I've literally been talking to my wife, and I've had offers on pretty much all my GHI het clown stuff already. And I was like, the girls, I'm sorry, I'm not letting them go. Like, I made all these pairings to get GHI het clowns, and I only got 2 girls out of all of it, so they're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And then I got a decent amount of GHI males this year, but it was like 2 years I can make super GHI clowns, like with genes on top of that. And I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, well, it's like $350, $400 for a single gene GHI male. Do I want to do that, or just hold all of it back and just create like stupid amounts of GHI clown shit without anyone ever fucking knowing until I upload everything like 5 months later, like I've been doing?
Yeah, that's like right now, because I have 2 chocolate girls. Is I really like the chocolate clown stuff, so I'm thinking I should probably get a visual clown boy, because
100.
both the chocolate girls don't have clown in them. They don't have head or visual. So
right. And that's kind of the thing that I'm at. Like, I have 2 breeder males right now that are single gene clowns, and then I have a banana combo clown male that I'm growing up. And I was like, well, I got to hold on to those single genes, unfortunately, until that boy's breeder size. So
exactly,
I got like a year, and then I offload those, and you roll those into another combo. You know what I mean? Or whatever you need.
I actually picked up from J Royals. I picked up an acid spot nose girl, because I actually I realized the other day, one of my buddies asked me, he's like, oh, what do you have in your collection right now? So I made a list and was looking at it, and I was like, oh my god, I only have 1 spot nose in my entire collection, and that's it. I'm like, this is not good. This is not good. Oh, so I was like, I'm
kicking myself in the ass right now.
And I really like acid a lot. So I wanted acid in my collection. So when I saw the acid spot nose girl, I was like, well, that feels like a no-brainer, like for sure.
Hell yeah. Especially seeing what Josh Jackie's doing right now, man. Like,
dude, it's
acid's a wicked fucking gene.
Oh, I love it.
And
the name is badass too.
I don't have room. Yeah, like the name's badass. Everything about it's badass. I love how dark everything is, how clean it is.
Yep.
But I can't. I'm becoming mature with age, and that fucking sucks. It's the best way of saying it.
I hate it. I hate it.
Like,
besides like the body aches and the hangovers being worse, that's the worst part about getting older.
I don't even care about that, bro. I'm like, I'm giving up certain recessives to work other recessives, but it's like I know within the space that I have, essentially I can have 10 females per recessive to work right now. And if I go over that, I can't work it. And essentially, to be effective in a project, you want to be working 15 to 20 females to really push stuff out, at least, you know? So I'm not even going to be able to hit a lot of the combos that I'm going to want to push. It's going to take me longer, at least until we move. But I got to keep it to where it's just individual work, not, oh, let me bring in a bunch of employees to try to keep up with it.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to have employees. Like I want to make it full-time, but I want to make it full-time to where it's manageable, that I can do it. Maybe have one person that I trust and know help me, but I don't want like 4 or 5 employees, because I'm like my dad in that regard, where like he'll tell me, hey, I need you to do this, and I'll go in there, okay, I'll go do it right now. And then as he's telling me to do it, he's starting to do it, and I'm like, hey, get out of here. I'm handling this. Like, go away. Go do your job. So like I know I would be that way. I would tell someone, hey, go clean the snake shit, and then I'd be in there cleaning snake shit. Like,
oh, I do it. So I've had an intern, man. He still comes over every now and then. Like, he's a young kid. He's trying to learn about potentially breeding and learn about snakes in general, right? And like what to look for. And so like we're running down snakes, and he's checking for RIs and checking the main spots for mites, and like learning how to sex and everything, right? And I'll be like, well, I feel bad. Like I'm not gonna be that guy because I remember when I was volunteering and learning,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, I'm the shop owner, so I got to do this. You go take care of all the snake shit, and I did it, and it was whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm fucking around with snakes. I don't care, but I kind of feel bad about it. Like
Yeah,
I
you
can't
don't
do
want to
it
give them
myself, so I'm
the
like,
dirty job.
hey, dude, I'll race you. Let's see how fast you can get through that rack while I get through this rack. And then I'm like, I'm looking through real quick and be like, yeah, his rack has a little bit more shit. I should be good.
Like, I'm good. I got this. Oh, yeah. The one thing I'm not looking. I mean, I need to do it, but I've heard how much of a pain in the ass it is breeding rodents. But I'm already seeing it now because I do frozen thawed mostly, and I'm seeing already the cost of what I'm paying on frozen rodents, and I'm like, I've got to. I have to at least get a rack of rats.
Initial investment, you're gonna feel like you're paying more than frozen rodents, right?
Yeah.
Once you get those colonies set up and running correctly, you're running half price, if that.
Yep.
If that.
And the thing for me too is I've got 5 snakes right now that will only eat live. So I have to. I get my frozen stuff in, which is easy, but then I have to go drive 20 minutes every week to go get live rats because they will not eat. They will not. I've tried pre-kill. I've tried everything. They won't fucking eat it. Like I even tried that trick with the vanilla extract, and they're like,
you gotta. So here's the thing I learned about that. Like the stores, they give 2 different vanilla extracts, right?
Okay.
So you have like essentially essence of vanilla extract. So it tastes like vanilla, but it's not pure vanilla.
It's not
extract.
actually vanilla.
And then you have like it's predominantly alcohol, I guess. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's essentially just flavoring. And then you have pure vanilla extract. And then that's the one you have to use to get them. There's something about it, like the scent that's put off with rodents and the vanilla sends them weird.
Makes them go crazy.
But, yeah. Or so I've been told. I haven't gotten it.
I don't know if I want to try it with my one chocolate girl because she's a psychopath. She's that one snake where I open the drawer and she's flying out, just ready to go. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how I have not been tagged by that girl. Oh, I love it because she eats every week. I love her, but she's like ravenous toward that tub comes open. You better be ready to be like, have that snake just like the freaking alien mouth coming at you. She's gnarly.
So and I've always kind of said this about California, but you're kind of in the mecca for mentorship, man. Like I have it good in Texas. Well, I have it good in Texas because I can reach out to people on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
And we're a fairly tight-knit community, but I feel like California is still the mecca for reptile breeders, man. California and Florida will always be the meccas as far as the United States, just because.
Yeah, I feel like it's for sure. Yeah, I mean, California, Florida, and Texas are for sure like the 3 big spots for it. 100%.
But with that happening, or like with the way you guys are set up there, I feel like finding mentorship and really finding people to learn under is a little bit easier and get that hands-on, right?
I mean, there's so many dudes out here. I mean, Antoine's only like, I think, an hour and a half away from me, maybe. You know, then Andrew from Redwood is about an hour. And there's a couple guys near me too that they're like 20 minutes away. So it's pretty nice to have that community of people that you can just hit up and be like, oh, hey, let me go look at your snakes and let's talk. Like talk snakes.
Is that kind of how you started out once you decided you just started bumping into people, or how did you get?
I didn't even know some of these dudes lived out here until like I would look more into them. Like, oh, you're only like an hour away. Oh shit. Okay, that's cool, dude. But that's kind of like another way to get closer to people too. Is you realize, oh, you live near them. Now you have more in common. Now you can actually hang out and make. I mean, I grew up in this weird hybrid of being a sports guy and then a nerd. So like growing up, I was playing hockey. But I wasn't playing hockey. I was playing WoW. So I had a lot of friends on the internet that some of them I still have to this day. Like it's weird, it's crazy, but it's like you can make friends on the internet and become some of your closest friends, but it helps when those people you meet on the internet also live near you. Which
for sure.
Is like for sure. And we have a lot of shows. We have a lot of small shows that aren't always the best. Like we had one in Del Mar right when California reopened. Okay. And I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be like crazy big. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be such a good show. Everyone's gonna come, and it was pretty mediocre. It wasn't terrible, but it was not what I thought it was gonna be.
It wasn't an NRBC.
No, and I think people were still kind of like hesitant on going into a big gathering like that at that point.
For sure.
I was like,
I mean, people still are, man. Like I've seen the effects at Arlington's, and like Arlington, it's not a massive show. It's big. Don't get me wrong, it's big. Well, this upcoming show is probably going to be fucking massive. Like,
I imagine. Yeah.
They have no guest speakers this time, which is something that they don't usually do. Like they usually have a few guest speakers, and those guest speakers will get vendor tables and all that. But they took the guest speaker room and put more vendor tables in there.
Oh, jeez.
And then the vendor tables that they usually give to the guest speakers in the main area are just for vending. Like this is essentially gonna be,
yeah.
And it's sold out. Like it was sold out 2 months before the show. So this is gonna be the biggest Arlington yet.
Yeah, because Schaumburg was pretty cool. I liked it a lot, but it was definitely not as big as I thought it was gonna be. Like for sure. I mean, it was big, but it wasn't like I've seen videos and photos of like Arlington and Tinley, and I was like, this isn't like that. This isn't Arlington. No way.
Well, dude, and that's what people say about like I remember the super shows, right? Like the San Diego, it's a decent size, but it's not that bad, right? And Pomona, you're like shoulder to shoulder, and then everyone's like Anaheim's bigger, dude. Like it's crazier. And like those that know me know I have pretty bad. It's not. I say it's social anxiety. I think it's crowd anxiety more than anything.
It's just, I don't think a lot of people like being in crowds that size either, though. I don't like whenever I go to a show like that, I go back to the hotel room. Like I got.
It's based off my training too, man. Like I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I've been in it.
Especially for you, yeah.
Yeah, like I've been in it. You don't. If I can't control the crowd, I'm not comfortable. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, I can only
sounds
imagine.
Bad, but fuck, man. Like to have people bumping into you, like constantly checking for all your equipment, checking your wallet. Speaking of equipment, I don't know if I've ever. I did let the story out with Jimmy when I did his interview. I left fucking like $2,000 worth of gear.
I remember that episode.
Behind Jimmy's.
Jimmy hit you, was like, "Hey, you forgot your stuff."
Yeah, he called me and he's like, "Hey, was this backpack yours?" Thank God. If you see a fucking military looking backpack with an American flag on it, it's mine. Just hit me up, please. And I'm bad about that shit.
That's always my biggest fear is like losing a camera or something, or my wallet, or just I terrified me. Like when Cusco lost his, or for like temporarily lost his camera, I was like, I'd be freaking out,
dude. Okay,
I lost my mind.
I can't survive when I lose animals, but if I lost that, I'd give up YouTube. Like I'd straight be like, I'm fucking done. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't deserve to be on the internet, guys.
Like, take it away. I don't need this anymore.
Shit. But I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully Anaheim's going to be good. I am pushing myself. I'm trying to make sure everything's solid.
And like I said, if you need a ride from the airport, let me know, dude. I can come pick you up for sure. I know. I'm pretty sure John Wayne's like right there.
I think it's right there. Yeah.
And I know Santa Ana's like super close to it. But Santa Ana is really freaking weird. So I flew from Santa Ana to Seattle.
You're trying to put me into a sketch fucking airport.
No, super nice area.
Go to Santa Ana, bro. You'll be good.
No, super nice area, but the airport's weird. So we booked our flights for 6 a.m. Figure, fly out super early, get to Seattle early, and be able to still do stuff. We get on the plane at like 6:30 or like at 5:45 to take off at 6, and then the pilot's like, "Oh, so just so you guys know, the city has a curfew where we cannot take off before 7 a.m." And I'm like, why would you schedule a flight for 6 a.m. then if you can't fly until 7? This makes no sense. Like,
Can I have beer?
Yeah,
we're in first class right now.
Like I thought he was fucking with us at first. I'm like, oh, he's just joking. And then we just sat there and I'm like, oh, he's serious. Okay.
Fuck that.
It was weird.
Yeah, I'm going into John Wayne.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Santa Ana that has
But,
that weird curfew. It's like they can't take off before 7, and then they can't land, I think, after 10. So it's like a really weird window where you can't fly in the city.
So you were at Schaumburg. You were supposed to be at Daytona. Crazy shit happened. We all kind of know that story. I feel like there's probably more to that story, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna make you
lace monitors are scary.
Yeah.
There
Stay
was
away
blood.
from lace monitors, boys and girls.
There was blood. I was like,
you're coming to Arlington,
and
then you've been to the super shows. How do you feel nationwide so far? Like with the shows that you've been to, what's kind of the feeling that you get out of them based off of your feeling in the nation? Like I know Daytona was kind of a buzz for you, but you still got to see a lot of cool shit. But
I feel like most places you go to, everyone's pretty welcoming for the most part. No one's. I've been very lucky to have not experienced any kind of like trolling or toxicity or anything from anybody. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it is. I can't.
It'll get there. Wait till you produce.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Wait till you'll say something to the wrong person. And
yeah, but I've been very lucky to not experience anything bad. But it's been super welcome. I mean, we went to Schaumburg and went to go see Cold Blooded Cafe and RepTech before that. I mean, that was super cool. And I'd never even talked to like Des or Steven before that. And they were like, oh yeah, we'll show you all our stuff. And like, that's what I love is everyone's super chill about just like, oh yeah, come see my stuff. Like, I'll show you. We went to Florida and got to see Trademark Exotics stuff.
That's different than the way it used to be too, man. Like it used to be, oh, I don't fucking know you. You're not.
Yeah. And most of these people that I've seen their collections, if I have talked to them, it's been very minimal. Like,
right.
Oh, nice picture. Or, hey, cool stuff. Hey, thanks. But it's never been like that friendship or like, hey, come to my house and I will show you my shit. But it's
hey, I have this $10,000 animal. Would you like to hold it?
Would you want to hold it? I'd be like, no. No, take it away. I look at it.
Right.
But like, I feel the same way though. If someone was like, hey, can I come see your collection? I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Like, come on over. Like, as long as you don't kill me.
That's what it should be about, man. That's what it should be about. Yeah. I love that shit. Hell yeah. That's awesome though. Like it's a great community, man. It's always been extremely welcoming. Like obviously you're gonna have the shitbags. It's regardless of what you do in life, you're always gonna have the shitbags. But I mean, you're looking at like 0.05%.
If so that small, yeah. I mean, I've heard the horror stories, but like I haven't experienced any of it yet, thank God. But
hell yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh man,
I love showing off my stuff. Like, and it's not even like it's not showing off as in like a gloating way. It's just like, hey, do you want to see this cool thing I just got? Like, come look at it. It's really cool, right? Like, it's like being a kid.
It's show and tell. Show and tell.
Exactly. And I didn't get to do that as a kid because I couldn't keep snakes.
I sense some bitterness there.
Oh man.
It's okay. You do now.
It's funny too. Everyone's like, oh, we didn't know you like snakes and stuff that much. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, I had been begging my parents for like years. But it was the same thing when people found out I played WoW. They were like, we didn't know you were a nerd and into that. Like, oh yeah, dude.
I wouldn't place that, man. Like,
oh no, because I mean, I grew up playing sports, so I knew if I told everybody I played WoW, they would just haze the hell out of me. So it was very much like, I do this thing that nobody knows about. I'm not gonna tell you guys. And then when they found out, they were like, wow, really? I'm like, yeah, dude. Exactly, Tom. I mean, it's like when you get a new car and you want to take your friends in it all the time everywhere.
I'm looking forward to it though, man. Like I love your energy. I love the way you're looking at things already. I think our time in Anaheim, I'm gonna make it work. Fuck it. Like I'll figure it out.
It'll be awesome. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna get a hotel or not yet. I mean, I'm an hour away. So for me, it's a case of like.
You said you were bringing your truck.
Yeah.
Does it have a bed in it?
It does. It does.
I'll bring my sleeping bag.
It does. But like for me, it's a case of like, I know because I used to do the whole convention scene with like the nerd stuff, like Comic-Con and all that. So I know what happens when you go to these and you meet up with friends, you start drinking.
You don't sleep.
You don't sleep, but
you
drink,
end up
needing a place to stay.
The same room.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, maybe I should just stay there the one night, you know.
I
Then I
mean,
gotta get a dog.
technically,
Then I gotta get a dog sitter.
as long as I just stay there Friday night and I just party all the way through
I'll stay
Sunday
up
to
all
the
day.
plane, be solid. And just carry a stick of deodorant. That'll be good.
Have you been to Anaheim in that area?
I've never been toAnaheim. No.
So
Well, I've driven
actually,
through there, but
it's actually set up. It's a really cool setup for like conventions. So they have the main convention center, and there's two. There's a Hilton and a Marriott, I believe, right next to it. And they both have like bars and a big lobby to hang out. And so I'm assuming that'll be where everyone hangs out after the show. And then there's all kinds of restaurants. Like there's a strip of just places to eat by Disneyland. So it's a super cool spot. It's
paying the Disneyland price though.
You are, and there are. I will say there's like, this is an area where if you go down the wrong street, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be here right now. I need to go back down this way.
So you're saying I need to get some sun before I go out.
Get some, yeah, maybe get a little bit of tan. Yeah, it's a nice, like where the convention is, nice area. Then you go a couple blocks and you're like, okay, this is starting to get
a little sketch. That's where I fit in though, man. Like I think that's why me and Jose clicked really well. I've been blessed in life, man. Like I've had both sides of it where I've definitely grown up in the wrong parts of towns.
Same.
And I've grown up in, I wouldn't say decent, but like not where you're worrying about like gunshots or stupid
yeah
shit,
I mean,
you know.
Before I lived in Irvine briefly for like 2 years, I lived in Huntington Beach, and everyone thinks, oh, Huntington Beach, super nice and fancy. I'm like, not the part of HB
For half of it,
dude. Exactly, half of it. I was like, the part I was living in, I was like, there was a garage that got shot up. I was like,
it depends on what side of the tracks you are.
Exactly. And I think people had this weird mindset that like there's only certain bad parts of California, but every city in California has a bad part. Like anywhere you go is gonna have a bad part.
Most assuredly.
I mean, luckily I was 8 miles from the beach when I lived in Huntington Beach. I could ride my bike to the beach, but it was not like, there's a reason why I could afford it, because it was on the outskirts in like a not so
studio
safe
apartment.
It was actually 2-bedroom, and it was so cheap. And I thought, wow, what's the catch? And then like a few months later, I was like,
gunfire.
Oh, there's helicopters. There's helicopters flying over like 3 times a week. Okay, I get it now.
Oh shit. Oh man, but I'm looking forward to it. Anaheim, we're gonna be promoting the grappling match between me and High Desert Morphs.
Antoine.
Yeah, Antoine. Speaking of Antoine, that will be our guest next week.
Nice. That's my boy.
Looking to chop it up with him and have some fun and start this promotion process. And hopefully we'll raise a lot of money for US ARC. So I don't know how we're going to set it up exactly yet. We're still figuring out details. But I think we're going to find a way to like stream it or something so that we could try to raise some money off.
Yeah, let me know if you guys
as well. So
if you need, you're doing that at Tinley, right, or Arlington, right?
We're hoping to do it at Arlington. There's, depending on travel restrictions and shit like that, there's a possibility it might happen at Anaheim too. So if you could get to Anaheim and Arlington, I would recommend you guys to get to both, because who knows when this is going down.
I mean, if you wanted to stream it, let me know, and I can bring like my streaming stuff, and we can just
we'll figure it out.
Plop that on.
Oh hell yeah! Unsanctioned fights for nights.
Fight night on YouTube.
Fight night. US ARC fight night. Fight Island.
That'd be legit. I'd watch the hell out of that.
But Matt, brother, I appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.
Loving your energy.
It means a lot.
Definitely looking forward to seeing what you do in these upcoming years, man. You got some powerhouse stuff already. Definitely have the mindset for it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to what you do now.
I'm dying from the grow. I'm like, please just keep eating. Like when they refuse a meal, I'm like, oh god.
Patience. As soon as it hits and it starts rolling, it's all downhill, brother. The hardest part is getting that first meal there, female there, and actually getting eggs. Once you get the first one, it's like clockwork.
I can't wait, man.
Brother, let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, so YouTube is Matt Sommers Reptiles. Instagram is matt.sommers.reptiles. And then that's it for now. I don't have Facebook and all that. I've heard too
Are
many
we
horror stories.
posting snake videos on YouTube yet, or is it just kind of a?
It's just kind of like sporadic.
Is it
like
a creator account or is it a consumer account at this point?
It's more of a, I would say, creator. It's more like if I go like a show, record a show, I'll put up a show video. If I get like snakes in, I do like an unboxing. I'll record the unboxing, that kind of stuff. So,
Oh, yeah. As long as there's a timeline, man.
My mindset was do a video a month. I'm like, I don't have the content to do a video a month right now. So right now it's just do a video as they come.
Right. Okay. Yeah, not a problem with that, man. So I have his Instagram down below. If you haven't added him on Instagram, make sure you get over there right now. Give Matt some love. He's, like I said, been one of my greatest supporters over the last 2 years. And like when I'm kind of feeling down or whatever, we kind of shoot the shit.
Yep.
Which I appreciate the support that you've given over the last couple of years. And I look forward to having you on for another round once you start producing shit. I watch you like kick my ass within the first fucking year or two of producing animals, man. Like,
no,
yeah,
man. You've got good stuff.
That was my boy. All right. I hope you all have a great night. Look forward to seeing you next week. Go give Matt some love. I'll have his YouTube on here post set up for you. YouTube. Y'all have a great night. Stay blessed.
Take it easy, everybody. Thank you.